In 2001, the Teaching American Grant Program was established to provide local education agencies and colleges an opportunity to develop and deliver extensive staff development in American history topics. Educational Services Unit Number 2, in partnership with Wayne State College, was awarded $845,000 in 2002 to deliver a 3-year project named Westward Waters. Westward Waters is based on the 3 primary directives identified by Thomas Jefferson in relationship to the Louisiana Purchase. In 2003, year 1 of the project focused on exploration of the territory through an extensive study of the Lewis and Clark Corps of Discovery. 2004, the project studied the Native American peoples of the Louisiana Purchase territory.
And then, next thing you know, something comes along and breaks you down, you're down a level.
And year 3 will look at navigational waterways to the west. The following is an overview of Year 2, the year of Native American peoples. Year 2 of the project was led by Native American historian and director of the John G. Neihardt Center, Nancy Gillis. In addition to Ms. Gillis, historian Hal Stearns provided additional insight and instruction during the year.
Welcome to Fort Mandan.
The adventure in 2004 began as studies of Year 1 merged with themes of Year 2, as the teachers experienced a frigid winter camping trip in historic Fort Mandan in North Dakota.
Here you go.
I just walked.
Notice the V-notch tree that you see.
She even drew the sky. And
Knife Rivers and the Missouri River.
I am so excited, but I need to have a photo to say that I really did this.
And she is going to be sleeping outside.
You bet.
Hey, Trav.
Morning.
How we doing?
Slept great.
Did ya?
Yeah.
I would do it again.
No.
Brad, how'd you feel?
Oh my God.
Yeah? Nice, wasn't it?
Once teachers returned to their comfortably bedded homes, they began the process of reading several books. Now, these books were selected to build the foundation of a long history of many of the Native American peoples of the Louisiana Purchase territory. 7 books were chosen and several book discussions took place in order to assist teachers in a knowledge base on which the summer's travel workshops would be built. In July, the Westward Waters family was off to Spokane, Washington, to begin a 10-day historical tour to visit the places of significant histories of the Native Americans of the Louisiana Purchase territory. The bus traveled to Lewiston, Idaho, with the group's first stop being the Nez Perce National Visitor Center. Educators viewed exhibits and listened to park rangers tell of the Nez Perce history. The museum also had one of the 6 original Jefferson Peace Medals known, which was found in a Native American grave.
Just take a sample of each one, because what we do
Later that evening, the group was introduced to the traditional Nez Perce food, including salmon and time-honored roots.
In our tribe, when we have serve these foods, and we eat them in a pattern, the way that they come out.
Following the meal, the group heard stories and flute playing. After the storytelling, the group participated in historic Nez Perce dancing. Dances and songs were explained as to their significance and meaning.
Back in the day, it was only the elders that could dance this dance, only the elder women.
Day 2 of the journey was spent traveling to Lolo Trail. A stop at the heart of the monster provided teachers with the creation story of the Nez Perce.
We had many trade.
Arriving in Missoula, the group was once again reunited with old friends Lewis and Clark. A wonderful evening of core discovery trivia and traditional dancing was enjoyed by all.
Alabama! And Alabama!
The next morning, teachers traveled to the People's Center in Pablo, Montana to meet with members of the Salish Kootenai tribe. The group had an opportunity to tour the center's displays, visit with Elder Karen Coffey, as well as learn about the history of the reservation lands.
we'd wonder what they were doing with this black.
4 vans arrived to take the group to the National Bison Range, where after a picnic lunch, the group toured the visitor center. Following the visit, the vans drove through the range where the group came up close and personal with the majestic beasts so tied to the lives of the people of the Louisiana Purchase territory. After leaving the People's Center, the group arrived in Polson, Montana, and boarded a boat for an hour-long tour of Flathead Lake. On board, the group was provided an opportunity to hear the stories and songs of Jack Gladstone. The following morning, the group met with Joe McDonald, president of Salish Kootenai College. The group had an opportunity to tour around the beautiful campus buildings and art sculptures like this Indian feather. Mr. McDonald discussed the issues of how historic events played a part in the current situations experienced by the college.
Native to this area, the Salish lived down south of Missoula.
After leaving the college, the group stopped at the Nine Pipes Museum to view the incredible private collection of artifacts. After setting off the security alarm several times, the group headed to Three Forks, Montana for an evening stay at the historic Sacagawea Hotel. Following dinner, the group participated in intertribal drumming and dancing. The next morning, everyone was up and on the road early, as they had an adventure waiting for them on the banks of the Yellowstone River near Billings, Montana. After the first year's experience on the Missouri, participants were eager to put paddle to water and approach the historic landmark Pompey's Pillar from the same vantage point that William Clark had experienced nearly 200 years ago. The experience was much more authentic than anticipated, as the group experienced a short portage and several capsized vessels and scary moments. Coming off the river, a pair of eyeglasses lighter and with a few bumps and bruises, the group had a greater respect for the perils and problems the Corps of Discovery experienced. Most fright and frustration gave way to awe as teachers came face to face with the physical evidence of the Corps as they viewed William Clark's name carved in the rock, placing them in the literal footprints of history. Later that afternoon, the group again followed the footsteps of history as they toured the Little Bighorn Battlefield National Monument. The knowledge that the Corps of Discovery indirectly affected the events and history of the Native American peoples of the Louisiana Territory brought new questions and greater understanding of the significance of historical events. The teachers enjoyed a well-earned rest in Sheridan, Wyoming, and then departed for Cody, Wyoming for a visit to the Buffalo Bill Museum of the Plains Indians. After leaving Cody, the morning was spent at the Medicine Wheel. This mysterious and mystical place required a 3-mile journey from the base of the mountain to the ranger station. Once arriving at the station, teachers hiked the last mile in the clouds and passed a snowfield where they finally arrived at the site. Temperatures were near the freezing mark when interpreters explained the rock arrangements and their possible significance. After warming up with a warm lunch, the group settled into a long bus ride across the state to arrive at Devil's Tower. Time spent at the tower allowed the group an opportunity to review the importance of this landmark on Native American legends. The long day's journey came to an end with the group arriving in Custer, South Dakota, where they would consider their new cabins home for the next 3 nights. 3 days were spent in the Black Hills learning and exploring the history and lives of the Lakota people. A highlight of the 3 days was a climb to Harney Peak to the place of Black Elk's vision. In addition, the group explored Crazy Horse Monument, a Jeep Safari wildlife tour, horseback tour of the park, and a final evening of singing and hayride complete with a chuck wagon cookout.
Turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
On the final morning of the stay in the Black Hills, the group traveled to Wind Cave National Park to experience an exceptional prairie tour.
There are little pigeonholes like you would have
As well
found
as
at the
exploring
old-fashioned
Wind Cave.
post offices. So they actually named this room the post office.
Following lunch, the group found their way back to their home state by arriving at Fort Robinson State Park. Historian Tom Becker provided a tour of the park while explaining the historical significance of the former post as it related to Native American history.
The guard met him with his bayonet. Crazy Horstead was wounded. They took him into the adjutant's office, and that's where he died about 5 hours later.
After touring the fort's museum, the group enjoyed a buffalo stew cookout near the former Red Cloud Indian Agency post. The following day, the group traveled to Chadron to meet historian Jim Hansen and toured the Museum of the Fur Trade. The final day of the Westward Waters Year 2 travels began with a visit to the site of Wounded Knee. The somber experience was refocused to the present and future by a visit to the Red Cloud School, which is thriving in the poorest county in the United States.
A 50% dropout rate. That tells you a lot. But here's Red Cloud with a 92% going on to higher education. Quite a contrast. And so Red Cloud, for our students, is somewhat of a safe haven as well.
Later in the evening, the group met up with their families and returned to their homes where they began the process of sharing their stories and experiences. Once again, the bond of the Westward Waters family was strengthened in experiences rich in history and full of emotional ties to the people, places, and events of our nation's past. By experiencing these events, teachers are better prepared to keep this history alive in their lessons and classroom activities. They ensure that their students know the people, places, and events of our nation's history.